Hello, my name is Dominic Demore, and thank you for tuning in to the second, maybe third now, under our new format, Best Thing You've Heard All Week. We have a great show for you that includes the latest movie news and assorted thoughts and opinions, ranging from insightful to downright obnoxious. This is the I've Had Better Movies podcast. Let's kick it off. James, what's our first story of the day?
Dom and I have talked about in the past both the new Spider-Man film set to hit theaters next year and the rumored crossover between 22 Jump Street and Men in Black. We now know both these movies are confirmed and they have titles. SpiderMan Homecoming and MIB23. What do you think of the titles, Dom?
Let's start with the one I don't hate.
MIB23?
Yeah. It's not bad. I like it.
It makes sense.
It does. I think MIB Jump Street would have been better, personally.
I like MIB23
Or Jump
better.
Street MIB.
Nope, I like MIB23.
See, but, what if you don't, up until you see a trailer for this movie, if you didn't
You're gonna
know
have no
there
idea
was a
what it is.
crossover, you're just going to think, they're going to the 23rd Men in Black movie?
Yeah, they skipped quite a few.
Yeah, wow, Will Smith is really looking for money, huh?
They skipped about 20 of them.
Although, for the record, Will Smith has said he hasn't confirmed, but rumors are that he will not be returning, or Tommy Lee Jones. But,
Good on their part.
yeah, MIB23 it's not bad. I like it. I'm not against the idea of this movie either. Men in Black, you are?
I am. I don't want to see it.
Why?
Because it's a stupid crossover. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you want to see 23 Jump Street?
No, I don't want to see...
Do you want to see 24? No, it's 24. It's 23 Jump Street.
No, I think they need to
So
stop.
you want to just kill the series?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen because
I know, because they make too much money.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of the title or the spin-off that they're trying.
I get it, but, if it's going to get made either way, I'd probably prefer this version.
That's true. If it has to be made, I would rather do something other than 23 Jump Street because 22 was rough.
Yeah, I didn't like 22 at all. It's probably because mainly the villain, the girl from Workaholics. I don't even know her name, but I don't like her as an actress. She's awful.
Mm-mm.
Although, you have to give that movie credit. That scene where Channing Tatum puts it together that Jonah Hill was sleeping with the captain's daughter when he's just he's like, oh, and he's just he's jumping around, and running around the whole place.
You see the wheels turning in his head and he figures everything out.
That scene is genius.
Yeah.
And
that was the only funny part of that movie.
I would agree. Yeah. All right. Now let's go to the one that I think you've pretty much given your opinion on that one.
Yeah.
Let's go to the one that I think we both pretty much agree on. Spider-Man Homecoming sucks.
Sounds terrible.
It does.
What, is he going to Homecoming?
I guarantee you he is.
That is so dumb. I don't care.
Gonna
have a homecoming dance?
Rumors are that, and it's been confirmed, I don't know why I keep saying rumors, because the guy they hired is 12. He's actually 17 or whatever, but
He looks 12.
yeah, he looks young. Tom Holland. The movie is going to be set in high school. It's supposed to have a very Breakfast Club, that Pretty in Pink kind of feel to where it's about growing up, and I guarantee at some point he's going to have to battle with whether or not he's going to ask Mary Jane to the prom or to homecoming. And
So is Mary Jane going to actually be in this one?
they have to, right?
Yeah, because that didn't go over well for the Andrew Garfield
Although they did
Spider-Man.
They did just recently cast Zendaya, and I do not want her to be Mary Jane. I don't think she's going to be.
IMDb currently has her listed as Michelle.
Yeah.
I don't know who Michelle is.
Neither do I. Who knows? She could just be some bully girl.
Could be.
But I think she's a good actress. It's just... and it's not one of those things where I do want comic book films to get more racially diverse, and I enjoy when these traditionally white characters are cast outside, but I need Mary Jane to have red hair, and I just don't see Zendaya with red hair.
They should cast Jessica Chastain.
James's answer to every casting is Michael B. Jordan and Jessica Chastain.
I can't help it.
So I don't hate it. This is from online, I guess. Sony copyrighted like a bunch of emails, not emails, website domains, and there were a lot that were worse than Spider-Man Homecoming.
That's not good. Not a good sign.
The favorite going in, I think, was Spectacular Spider-Man, because it's based off, like, that was the name of a comic that was Spectacular Spider-Man.
It's got the alliteration too, which helps.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go with it, but maybe they just wanted to really just distance themselves from that Andrew Garfield. Because,
the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not insanely happy about it. I'm sure once the movie comes out, nobody's going to care. Like, people are just going to call it Spider-Man.
Yeah. As they normally do.
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to our next topic.
Dom, have you seen Narcos?
I have seen trailers for it, but I've never actually sat down to watch it.
Well, one of the main characters, Boyd Holbrook of Narcos, is going to be cast as the lead villain in Hugh Jackman's Wolverine 3.
Really?
What do you think?
Let's see. Judging by my extremely informed opinion of never seeing the show, never knowing the man's name before I heard this story, and didn't even take the time to IMDb what the man looks like, I'm okay with it, because I don't believe for a second that this guy is the lead villain. I think it's just because I did hear about his description, and he's just labeled as the head of security for a global enterprise, and that sounds like henchman number 1 to me, essentially. If you have a big bad guy who is the head of security for a global enterprise, who's the head of the global enterprise? So, personally, I think it'll be fine. Narcos, from what I've heard, has gotten rave reviews.
It is a good show.
Yeah, so I have faith that this guy can do it, and it looks like they've been taking the Wolverine in the right direction, and I think with this being Hugh Jackman's last stand as, no pun intended, off of that awful X-Men 3, but I think Hugh Jackman will go on the right terms, and I have faith that this guy can pull off a decent acting job.
Yeah, he is. The beginning of Narcos was a little rough from his acting perspective, but he got better throughout. I mostly blame the dialogue they gave him, because he was American in Colombia, which doesn't help. So he'll probably be better in X-Men. Wolverine.
Was he a good guy or a bad guy?
He was a good guy.
Do you think he can play a bad guy?
That's still up in the air, because he's a pretty white boy. Honestly, I look at him and I picture some Paul Walker in him.
Yeah,
Paul Walker's not a bad guy.
No, very true. So it's something to look out for. I'll have to look into a couple more of his films or anything like that. You have IMDb up? Has he been in anything else?
He was in Gone Girl.
Really?
He was in Milk. He was in Run All Night. Skeleton Twins.
Who was he in Gone Girl?
1 second.
Patron number 3.
Probably something stupid like that. Jeff. Who's Jeff? I don't even remember him in the film, to be honest.
Was he the boyfriend of the girl that Rosamund Pike becomes friends with at the Travelodge or whatever she's at? Like the ones who ultimately rob her?
Could be. I honestly don't remember even seeing him in the film, because this came out before Narcos.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was a nobody at that point.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that to him. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comment section below, or shoot me a message on Twitter. I would take an angry message on Twitter at this point. Just somebody saying they hate me.
Hate's such a strong word.
Yeah, it is. But at this point, like, it'd be nice to get somebody else besides my mom.
Hey, I appreciate everyone we get.
Yeah, so let's go on to our next topic, which this was a big couple of weeks for trailers. Possibly the biggest one to come out was for Marvel's Doctor Strange. It is the first glimpse we've, aside from random set photos and things like that, of the magical minister who I'm sure Jimmy is not a comic book guy per se. He probably didn't even know who Doctor Strange was before this trailer.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Didn't really know who he was, though.
And realistically, probably don't really know who he is after this trailer either.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I still have no idea what he is.
Yeah, this trailer, it doesn't go into a whole lot of detail. And I think that's why I'm not... and it is a teaser trailer. As always, we have to take it with a grain of salt. But I thought it was heavy on the visuals, which were impressive. But I didn't have that connection to anybody, really. And while it didn't hurt how I feel about Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, I do wish they would have shown me a little bit more instead of just like the Stephen Strange part and more of the hero part. Oh, and Tilda Swinton, well, she's a great actress, looks horrible in a ball cap.
Yeah, she always looks kind of creepy in her movies, though.
A little bit.
My first takeaway from this trailer was it was Inception meets Marvel.
Yeah, which I do believe that's what Marvel was going for.
Just robbing Christopher Nolan of his terrific film.
Yeah, because the director of this film, he did Sinister, the horror film.
Interesting.
So Marvel is known for choosing outside the box directors, so it makes sense that this movie would appear outside the box from this trailer.
Yeah. And the other thing, I did kind of understand Dr. Stephen Strange prior to him having superpowers, because I felt like they explained that decently. And then I had to look at the cast, and there's a lot of heavy hitters in here.
Oh yeah, no. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rachel McAdams, one of James' favorite, one of my not so much.
Oh, I love her. Almost as much as Jessica Chastain.
Like we said before, Tilda Swinton, Benedict Cumberbatch, B.D. Wong,
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, Matt. That's the one I'm like. They didn't show him at all in the trailer, and there's rumors that he's going to be the bad guy. He's the one I'm looking forward to most in this movie because I think he's a tremendous actor who does not get enough credit for what he does.
Yep.
If you haven't ever heard of Doctor Strange or you were curious from watching the trailer, because it doesn't really go into it, Stephen Strange is a tremendous heart surgeon who is basically an asshole and completely self-obsessed, and he gets in a car accident, or I'm not sure how they're going to do in this movie. It's semi-changed over the years, but he loses the ability to use his hands. Thus, he can't be a surgeon. He exhausts all realms of traditional medicine and is informed that there's a special place in the mountains that if he goes to, they can heal him. He goes there, they essentially teach him how to use magic, and he becomes a superhero to fight the supernatural. If you like magic and the supernatural type of stuff and the idea of like demons and things like that, I think you'll really like this movie. If not, it's Marvel, so you're probably going to at least half enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it was a solid trailer. Nothing extremely special. And I was expecting a little bit more.
It was just a teaser. I mean, there could be more in the next one. Yeah. There probably will be more in the next one.
I just thought with as much as we saw from the set photos, and they did release a couple of posters with him done up in the Doctor Strange outfit, I thought for sure that we would get one splash image of him in the trailer in the full-on outfit.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what Marvel's planning?
Yep.
On to our next topic. Another trailer that was released was Suicide Squad. Which trailer is it?
It is technically their second main trailer, their third trailer overall, but the first one is just an extended teaser.
All right, so we'll call it second trailer.
Yes. They refer to it as the Blitz trailer because of the use of Ballroom Blitz as their main theme song. Yeah.
Gotcha. What'd you think of the trailer?
Loved it. Margot Robbie. Oh my God. Like, not only does she look great, but she was funny in this. Like, you can tell that she's going to be one of the highlights of this movie because she has one-liners that are great. I've heard things where Margot Robbie's talking about how manipulative Harley Quinn is, so you wonder if like she's going to act one way with one character and then completely opposite like with another. So really looking forward to her. I kind of like Will Smith's take on Deadshot. A little bit more street, a little bit more like in your face, like because normally Deadshot's like he's cocky, but he's a bit more reserved and stuff like that. Whereas Will Smith is more like, he's more Will Smithy.
Yeah,
so
definitely work.
Yeah,
more Will Smithy.
Yeah, but I think it works.
Yeah, I agree. What I'm interested about is this second trailer that they released. Is they had Harley Quinn make more jokes. And to go back to our last episode, does that make you think that the studio was telling the truth about making this movie a little more funny, or at least appear to be funny?
I don't think so, because I've heard more interviews with David Ayer, the director, who said like he was asked about the rumors and he's like, yeah, no, this is insane. I was offered a chance to go back and do some reshoots, and any director ever is going to tell you yes to doing reshoots because it's just adding more stuff to your film. It's just more ways to make it better. And I believe that they've been going back and doing mainly action stuff. And also, as we talked about last week, we're talking about Harley Quinn. She's sexy, she's sarcastic, she's crazy. You can't have her in a scene and have nothing she says, everything she says won't come off serious. She can even say serious things that are still going to have a tweak of humor to it because it's a girl in hot pants who's white as snow with a semi-Brooklyn accent. Like, yeah, it's going to create a chuckle or a smile some way. That and like Boomerang, Jai Courtney, I think he looks hilarious. Like you got a boyfriend? Like, that was funny. He was in that movie. He was in that trailer for 3 seconds, and he made me laugh. So I'm looking for. I think Killer Croc looks really good. Yeah, I was a little apprehensive about him at first because I was like, is that gonna work? But through the 2 trailers that I've seen,
looks good.
Yeah. Was there any moment in particular that stood out to you in this trailer?
The Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, him being more involved and kind of makes you wonder what his role is actually going to be in the film. Yeah, because he was in a decent portion amount of that trailer. Yeah, and I fully admit I thought I knew how much he was going to be used when we first started this podcast. I thought I had a firm grip, and now I'm like, I have no idea. He could be he could be in 20 minutes of the movie. He could be in 2 hours of the movie. Yeah. Long story short, August can't come here soon enough. Yeah, I agree. Although, no more trailers. Really? I'm done. I don't want to see any more. I don't want them to screw it up, basically. Yeah. Like, you know there's going to be another one. Oh, yeah, definitely. There's been 2 amazing trailers so far. They haven't really told us anything except for who is in the Suicide Squad. Couldn't tell you who the real villain is. Couldn't tell you what their mission is. Couldn't tell you how they all get caught. All I know is who they are and a couple of the things. So, I'm looking forward to it. All right, James and I call these quick hitters. It's just a really quick bit of news that you can choose to look into a little bit more if you ever want to. But Jungle Book, which we talked about on the last episode on Wednesday, was made a huge amount of money its opening weekend and has already been rumored to be greenlit for Jungle Book 2. Now, the studio wants both director Jon Favreau and the screenplay writer Justin Marks to return. Marks has said he would be open to it, but Favreau, he's a hot ticket director in Hollywood, so the odds of him coming back are a little bit slimmer, but he'll probably at least stay on to executive produce. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's definitely a movie I'd like to see. I'm interested what the next story will be for Mowgli. Yeah, it left off on a positive note, so you can really take it anywhere at this point. Yeah. As long as you don't bring back Shere Khan. As much as I loved Idris Elba, I don't need him to come back all
burnt whiskers and shit.
Yeah, all, Mr. Bigglesworth from Austin Powers. We don't want that.
Throw us a freaking bone here.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible idea. On to our next topic. Tessa Thompson of the hit film Creed has been cast in the upcoming Thor Ragnarok. Not much is known about the character, but when paired with the news that Natalie Portman will not be returning for the third installment of the film, it is rumored that she could play the love interest of Chris Hemsworth. Tom, what do you think?
I'm happy on both ends because I love Tessa Thompson. Creed was my favorite movie of last year, and I thought she was amazing in it. She was her own character, and she wasn't reliant on Apollo / Adonis / Michael B. Jordan. So I'm really looking forward to her getting more opportunity in the industry, and I'm happy that Natalie Portman is not returning. Rumors have been swirling for years, ever since the first one, that she didn't like doing these movies. She thought they were beneath her because she's an actress.
Yeah. She definitely mailed in her performances.
Yeah, she can go screw herself. Like, these movies are good movies. I don't care what you say. Like, you get a good paycheck.
It's not an artsy indie film that she wants to be doing.
Yeah.
It's not Black Swan.
Yeah, so I'm glad she's not coming back. I honestly don't need her to come back throughout the rest of this. Like, they can completely write her off as, like, because in Thor Ragnarok, it's supposed to be Thor and Hulk together. They get shipped off to this Elseworld outer planet, and then...
Is that where Ragnarok is?
Ragnarok in the comics / in, like, Norse mythology is, like, the end of the world. So, as far as how they tie in everything, I don't really know. Because the rumor is this is kind of more like Planet Hulk meets Ragnarok, where in the comic line Planet Hulk, they shoot Hulk off into space, and he crash lands on this war planet. And it's kind of like Gladiator with Russell Crowe. He fights his way up, except for instead of dying in the end, spoilers, he essentially kicks everybody's ass and creates a war planet and invades Earth.
Okay.
I don't think they'll go all the way with that for this movie, but it's going to be kind of buddy cop-ish in a way, like with Thor and Hulk teaming up.
Like Lethal Weapon meets Marvel?
Kinda. So, I'm looking forward to it. I like the role of Tessa Thompson. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Portman not being in the film / Thompson's?
Very excited. I don't really like Natalie Portman that much. And Tess Thompson is a terrific actress. She's shown that she can act in Creed, and she'll be fine in a Marvel film. Whatever her role may be.
Mm-hmm. I do hope that it is one of those things, because Jamie Alexander has been tragically underused in that series.
She's very much.
Yeah, she plays Lady Sif. So I'd like to see her get some more screen time / more to do on screen. But if they're adding a person with the talent of Tessa Thompson, maybe Tessa Thompson will be the love interest of Bruce Banner. Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah. So
kind of messes up if Scarlett Johansson and if they're supposed to be love interest.
Yeah.
But
she could play the...
I mean, Bruce Banner could just be killing it.
Yeah, or Bruce Banner could play the little bitch that Bruce Banner is, and she could be the forward one.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, she shows the interest, and he shows the interest a little bit, but at the same time, like, I kind of got this girl back home.
Yeah, or maybe she just likes the Hulk, and not so much Bruce Banner. She tries to make it big. Yeah, we gotta cut that out, too.
So, yeah, unfortunately, Thor Ragnarok is a little ways away. Like, it's not coming out till 2017, so...
Yeah, July.
Yeah. But nice to know that the casting continues, and never a bad thing to add talent. All right, Dom won the jackpot reading lottery this week, because he gets another quick hitter. Deadpool 2, confirmed. Boom.
great news.
Yeah, like no one knew that wasn't coming.
Yeah.
The movie's made almost $800 million on a $50 million budget. Good thing to note is entire creative team and Ryan Reynolds is coming back.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly what they needed.
Yes.
They didn't need people flipping and doing other things.
Mm-hmm. And even more impressive, they want to do it for the same budget. Yeah. Yeah, they want to create a budgetary constraint on themselves so that, hey, they can get the best work out of themselves.
That's true.
Yeah. Because in the first film, there were certain things that they had to do because they couldn't afford it, and it turned out to be some of the funniest moments in the movie.
Yep.
Like the one that I talk about all the time is where Deadpool continuously forgets his giant bag of guns. They did that because they didn't have the money to put in all the gunfights, and it was cheaper just to do the animated sword and things like that. So they had Deadpool forget the bag of guns, and it was hilarious every time he did it.
Yep, it definitely worked.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. And unfortunately, that's basically putting the nail in the coffin that Channing Tatum's Gambit is practically done. I'm not saying Channing Tatum will never play Gambit, but that version of it, I think, is off the map.
Yeah. Probably for the best.
Probably. As we've heard, Tatum's not hurting for work.
No. 2018, 2020, 2022, 2023. Good Lord. Next up.
By what could you be referring, James?
James Cameron has announced more Avatar movies. 4 of them, to be exact. In years 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2023.
What if this is just like the worst dick tease ever? Like when he gets to 2018, you're like, oh, we're going to have 6, but the next one's not coming out till 2020. Like, he just keeps pushing it back.
He is nuts. These are not that good of movies, James. What are you doing?
I mean, is it the highest grossing film of all time?
I don't care. That was just because it was a visual masterpiece.
Yeah.
The story's not all that great.
Yeah, but what if these next ones are visual masterpieces?
So he's planned all this technology? 2 and 3 years... No, they're all 2 years apart.
He had the idea for Avatar, apparently, back in like 1989.
Yeah, and he sat on it for that long, which is pretty amazing.
Well, he's been sitting on this one for going on 10 years at this point. Like, in 2018, when did Avatar come out? 2009?
Yeah, something like that. He needs to go back and do True Lies 2. Because Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis need to be back.
Don't forget about Eliza Dushku. That girl needs to be in more movies.
Yes.
I don't understand why she, like... I mean, she had a run of hits on TV. Like, she was in the final couple seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she had that show Dollhouse, which was canceled after, like, 8 episodes.
Yeah. I don't know what she's doing. Maybe she just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Wait a second. How the hell are they going to have Sam Worthington back in Avatar 2? Didn't he lose his body at the end of Avatar?
That's a great question.
Like,
it's another reason why this should not happen.
Yeah, I call shenanigans. Like, oh, didn't take.
Who knows what James Cameron's thinking right now?
Yeah.
Go back to doing an episode of Entourage.
Yeah, I tend to agree with James. I was okay with the 3. But you got to be pretty cocky to say, like, yeah, no, we're doing 4. And we're filming them concurrently, which means, like, kind of the problem that Divergent is going through right now. Like, what if the 3rd one sucks? Like, are they going to abandon the plans for the 4th one, or are they just going to, like, slash the budget? Because the other thing is about James Cameron don't give budgets. He's like, yeah, no, just give me all of it. Like, I'll tell you when I need to stop.
Yeah. It's going to be a money pit.
Probably. On the other hand, maybe he has the first $5 billion franchise.
It's a possibility. Anything could happen with James Cameron.
Yeah. All right, and then our final news of the day has to do with a little heart and a big Johnson.
Heck of a lead-in, man.
I stole it from Central Intelligence.
I know, but it's still funny.
It was, which is the film that's coming out later this year, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart. Well, in other casting news, a dynamic duo is in talks to star in the Jumanji remake. Now, people of James and I generation obviously have the Robin Williams classic deeply entrenched in our hearts, but what are your thoughts on these two arguably Hollywood giants, pun intended on Kevin Hart's side, being cast in the remake?
I do not like it at all.
Really?
Not any bit. What is it going to be a comedy now? I thought it was more of a drama. I mean, there were funny parts in it, but I don't think it's like Kevin Hart comedy or Dwayne Johnson comedy.
Yeah. What if? I'm just spitballing, because we know that in the original, Robin Williams gets sucked in the board game. What if Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson are brothers, and Dwayne Johnson gets sucked in, and that's why now he's just this giant ripped dude because he's been surviving in the forest all this long. Like, imagine, like, when he comes back, he's essentially Hercules. Like, got a lion tape, like...
Okay.
Yeah. That, or there's a decent chance that Dwayne Johnson plays a savage. Like,
in the actual world of Jumanji?
Yeah. Like...
And he comes back into our world, or they do more a Jumanji side, so you see what's inside the board game.
That would make sense. Or like, who...
Honestly, I like both Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, but it really depends on what direction they go. If they try and reboot it and do like the same type of Robin Williams gets sucked in, and 20 years later he comes back and meets his girlfriend, and there's kids that find the game, and I'm not having it.
So, do you have just more of an issue with the fact that they're making a Jumanji remake in general?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. So it's not so much these two guys as the fact that you didn't want a Jumanji sequel in the first place, or remake.
That Jumanji is one of my favorite movies when I was growing up, and I believe I'm in my sister's phone as Jumanji. She calls me Jumanji. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it at all.
That's a very heartwarming story.
Thank you.
Now I don't want this movie.
That's right. It doesn't need to be changed. It was great the first time.
It really was, like, because it hits a lot of moments. Like, it has the comedy from Robin Williams, but it has a lot of emotional moments in that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that's why I don't consider it a comedy at all.
Yeah. So I'm less against Dwayne Johnson in this movie than I am Kevin Hart. Like, because to me, Dwayne Johnson fits. Kevin Hart doesn't fit in the movie to me. Like, because Dwayne Johnson, obviously, Dwayne Johnson is Samoan. Like, imagine if they pulled, kind of like they did with the Hunter in the original Jumanji. What if that was just a role taken by The Rock in this film? Same thing. He's hunting Kevin Hart, but instead of using guns and that, he's got spears and stuff like that. It could be funny.
Could be.
I'm not saying it's great. I'm just spitballing here, James. Don't give me that look.
I'm trying to wrap my head around for some way for this movie to work.
Yeah, so I'm not particularly looking forward to it either. I really don't want to end on a negative note today.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. How about this? We talked about Channing Tatum earlier. It's just been released, announced that Channing Tatum has been cast for Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle.
I like it.
Yeah.
I always like Channing Tatum.
You're a Channing Tatum?
Mine.
He actually announced it himself on Twitter, saying that he is going to be deep in that Golden Circle. Good for him. That was quite the play on words. I chuckled as an immature 24-year-old very hard at it.
How could you not?
Yeah, so that he joins a cast with Halle Berry, Julianne Moore. There's rumors that Colin Firth could be returning, even though he, spoilers, died in the first one. So I'm the more they talk about this movie, the more interested I become, and I think Channing Tatum being cast is great. I kind of hope he's a villain.
I do too.
And
because we already know Halle Berry's not going to be. We don't know that for sure, but she's supposed to be head of like CIA or FBI or something like that.
Yeah. We know for sure Julianne Moore is a villain.
Yeah.
They have not said Halle Berry's a villain, so you can imply she's a hero, but you never know. She could be double agent or something like that. All right, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, please like this episode and subscribe to the I've Had Better Podcast Network on YouTube. Also, follow us on Twitter at IHB Podcast and on Facebook. Go like the I've Had Better Podcast page. James, tell the people how to find you.
I am on Twitter at @the_Kaiser_Soze or on Facebook as Jimmy Langos. Don't forget to check out our website at www.ihbpodcast.com, and we are also on iTunes, so don't forget to subscribe and like to our podcast on iTunes.
Yep, and you can find that by just going on the iTunes store and searching I've Had Better Podcast, and it should pop right up for you. And don't forget to give us a 5-star rating, because that is very important when it comes to getting future advertising, things of that sort. And with that being said, I am Dominic Moore. You can follow me on Twitter at Domnamore. That's DOMDEMORE. Or on Facebook at Dominic Demore. How was the show today, James?
I've had better.
Good night, everybody.